Hey everyone, welcome to the show. Little hiccup there getting started, but I think we're all right, doing well. It's all happening. We are live on YouTube, live on DLive, live on Rumble, rumble.com/coffeenuance/live. Ladies and gentlemen, gather round for a tale that's equal parts eye roll and eyebrow raise. You know, our good friends at Google, or as we're supposed to call them now, Alphabet, because, you know, they're covering all the letters of the misinformation alphabet soup. Yeah, they've decided to swoop in and save us from the treacherous world of medical misinformation. How noble, right? So YouTube, the land of cat videos, makeup tutorials, and yes, political rants, is now putting on a doctor's coat. They're playing medical police, proclaiming no more false claims about cancer treatments. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm all for accurate information, especially when it comes to serious matters like health. But when the almighty Google decides what's true and what's not, well, color me skeptical. Remember, folks, these are the same folks who, during the heyday of the pandemic, decided they knew better than every doctor, virologist, and expert out there. You could almost see them sitting back in their Silicon Valley lairs, rubbing their hands together like, who needs actual medical degrees when you've got algorithms? Oh, the good old days when Google suppressed certain COVID treatment information because they deemed it misinformation. You know, it's not like science ever evolves or anything. Oh, wait, yeah, it does. But don't tell that to Google, because once they decide something's misinformation, well, virtual guillotine comes down. Now they're extending their censorship party to cancer treatments. They're going to be the arbiters of what's harmful and ineffective. Look, I get it. There's a lot of garbage out there. Let's not kid ourselves into thinking that Google's the ultimate arbiter of truth. I mean, they're not even that good at tracking our every online move. Now we're entrusting them with medical expertise. And the cherry on top, they're going to put content like from authoritative sources, like the Mayo Clinic. And you know what's funny? A few years ago, Google couldn't tell the difference between a Mayo Clinic and a sandwich shop. Now they're acting like they're the ones handing out medical degrees. So folks, let's not be fooled into thinking that Google's the benevolent guardian of truth, right? They've got a track record of deciding what's right and what's wrong based on their algorithmic magic. And remember, just because they're alphabet doesn't mean they've spelled out the answer to all our medical questions. So keep your critical thinking hat on, because in the realm of information, there's more to one letter in the alphabet. My name's Tom Coffee. This is the Coffee Nuance Show. Best censored commentary and news show live right now. Flame on. So yeah, Google/YouTube, they're removing false claims about cancer treatments to fight medical misinformation. They're banning content promoting harmful or ineffective treatments and discouraging professional medical care. This is part of their broader effort against misinformation, covering vaccines, abortions, and eating disorders. Enforcement will start soon. And they'll also highlight reliable cancer-related content. So don't think you can go to YouTube anymore for any alternative thought on dealing with cancer. I get it. There's a lot of BS out there. There's a lot of BS. But here's what I'll have to say about that. Go to CNN. Go to any of these online media companies, and they have advertisements, these clickbait advertisements on their webpage that promise all kinds of medical crap that's totally not true. You know the kinds of videos that I'm talking about. You click it, you can't fast forward it or rewind it or pause it. and they drag it out for about 20 minutes to kind of hype up some drug or some new therapy on something. These medical miracles are all over corporate media's websites. But I guess technically those videos aren't on YouTube. I don't know. It was interesting. I did see that the CDC, it was just revealed last week that they've admitted that doctors could prescribe ivermectin. That horse paste for COVID. They're saying, oh, yeah, doctors could have done that. They just didn't do that. Anyone believe that? I don't believe that. Their tweet about the horse paste, you're not a horse, is still up. That was medical misinformation. That was medical misinformation that was promoted across all platforms. But now, the only cancer treatments are going to be the ones that are approved by advertisers. Right? If there's enough money behind it, YouTube can talk about it. But probably don't make any claims that it might be good for cancer to, I don't know, get in better shape, eat better food, lose some weight. Little things like that may help you out. Don't think you can talk about that anymore because that could just be medical misinformation. It's not being pushed by big pharma, so might just disappear. Yeah. Anyway, what do you think about this? What do you think about YouTube deciding what is medical advice and what isn't? It's all very interesting. I understand both sides of it, and but I don't think that there should be a system put in place that there is no accountability. Okay? So the way that it currently works, if YouTube decides that they don't like something, they rule against you, and there's no court, there's no appeal, there's nothing you can do about it. And it looks like this is more of that. Right? Real science will allow an alternative point of view to be put out there so you can judge whether it's true or not. But this is just more censorship for our own good, I suppose, right? Anyway, I got a couple stories to get through today. Stick around for the after show. I'll be going through all your comments on YouTube and on Rumble. What's up, everybody over there on Rumble? Just a reminder, hit the like button. I should have 100% likes right now. If you're watching this live, hit me. You can give me a thumbs up. I would appreciate that. But yeah, let's get to the first story. Oh, this scary movie that is all the rage now. Hey, folks, you heard about this new Zepotha trend on TikTok? Yeah, apparently it's a hot 1980s horror movie that doesn't actually exist. You know, it's like a perfect metaphor for my dating life. A lot of hype, tons of anticipation, and ultimately just a bunch of imaginary characters. Here's the story. Zepotha, a fictional 1980s horror movie, has gained popularity on TikTok as users engage in makeup, cosplay, character discussions about this non-existent film. This trend began as a joke by a musician aiming to create a fake movie and encourage fan engagement. Despite its origins as a promotional tactic, the trend has taken off and developed a fan community. Some speculate it's a marketing strategy for an upcoming album, but who cares, right? Similar instances of viral, non-existent films have occurred before, such as Ganchavarov in the past year. So it's kind of fun. You know, sometimes we just need some fun stories. Sometimes we need stories that aren't just dripping in corruption, like so many of the stories that are out there today. It's just all culture war stuff. It's nice to get away from that and look at something else. I think this is really funny that there is a fake horror movie that everyone is talking about. I've seen like some trailers for the fake horror movie that looks like it was done with AI, with a real 80s filter on it. Looked like it was filmed like with a camcorder, a VHS, if you will. But this is kind of fun. I always like trends like this. And imaginary things are it's just fun. It reminds me there is a video game, apparently, that existed in Portland, Oregon in the 80s. And now it's gone and only some people remember it. There's a story about people remembering playing this. Polybius, or I think it was something called like that, Polybius. Something close to that. And it's just kind of fun, right? You make up something fake, you create a culture around it, you create fans around it. Why not? Seems like innocent fun to me. So I'm all for it. I'm all for it. I want to get in on this. I think it'll be a fun thing. And who knows, this could be one of those weird things where life imitates art, and we end up getting someone making a film based on this fake film that was created online. So that would be fun. Anyway, that's enough fun. You know, folks, they're putting GPS trackers in electric vehicles now to tax us by the mile. Yeah, because apparently if you're saving the environment, you should also be saving the state government's budget. Very true. So several states like Oregon, Utah, and Michigan are putting GPS trackers in electric vehicles to tax drivers based on miles driven. This is because electric vehicles don't pay gas taxes for road maintenance. Critics worry that GPS tracking is invasive and unnecessary, raising privacy concerns. They fear it, could lead to government control over travel and resemble a social credit system. But that's probably all a big conspiracy, right? That's all a big conspiracy. Our government isn't going to do things to try to limit our freedoms, limit our travel. Come on. Who believes that? Yeah. No one. But it is an interesting conundrum. How do you pay for roads if how it's been paid for in the past is through gas taxes? I know that in Oregon, when you renew your vehicle registration every year, there is a vehicle registration cost. I know that some of that has to do with the weight of your vehicle. So the heavier your vehicle is, the more tax you will pay, because supposedly then you will have more wear and tear on the road. But it does bring up a lot of privacy concerns if, the government's tracking every single mile you drive. And this can just be a shift in who pays for things. Right? So right now we've got a shift. If you're a rich person buying a brand new electric vehicle and you get all the tax benefits, the write-offs for getting that electric vehicle, and then you're not paying tax on because you're not buying gas. Okay. Seems like then you're shifting who's paying for the roads to the people that are still using gas. So obviously, the obvious thing to do is just to do away with all gasoline. Let's have all electric vehicles, then we don't have to worry about this, and we can have the government watch our every move and every mile that we drive. I guess that's one solution that we're looking for. Not really the solution that I'd be into. But with so many things, there's pros and cons, and you really got to weigh it out. I do think that, if you're using the roads all the time, you should probably pay a little bit more than the people that don't use the roads very much. I guess they will have to address that need because, they got to pay for the roads some way. I don't know what the best solution is, but I will say I don't like the solution of tracking my car. Now, in Oregon, this GPS tracking thing is voluntary. But that's how it always starts. I really wonder about the people that have fallen for the scam. I'll call it a scam from insurance companies that say, hey, if you put a GPS tracker in your car, we'll give you a discount, for being a good driver. And I really think that's setting yourself up. You get an accident and it turns out you were 6 miles over the speed limit. And they've tracked it in this GPS tracker, right, that your insurance company has access to. They can say, oh, you were speeding. We shouldn't have to pay for this. I don't know. We got to be careful about these things. But let's talk about a little currency action. Russia's central bank raised interest rates to fight inflation and boost the ruble. It's like they're trying to give their currency a motivational speak. Come on, ruble, you can do it. Inflate yourself with confidence. Here's the story. Russia's central bank raised interest rates significantly to counter inflation and strengthen the ruble, which hit its lowest point since the early Ukraine conflict. The ruble's 30% drop this year due to military spending and sanctions prompted the move. While the weaker ruble benefits the government, it also brings challenges like rising prices. Experts note this isn't a crisis, but the rate hike aims to curb inflation and balance imports and exports. Similar tactics stabilized the ruble after the 2024 Ukraine invasion. So what is funny that I find about this story is if we take everything from this story, right? And if you look at a historical chart on the ruble, it's not doing bad. It's doing obviously worse this year. It's down 30%. And so therefore, they must have these massive struggles. Well, what if we were to look at, say, the US dollar versus, I don't know, the Mexican peso? And then we would see that the US dollar is down 15% in the last year against the Mexican peso. And the US has been raising interest rates. It's like you have the exact same story that they're doing here with the ruble. But the corporate media are all running stories about how bad the ruble is doing. And they could just take Russia, ruble, inflation, and they could just replace that with, United States, dollar, inflation, and it would be the exact same story. But I don't see those stories. So it is kind of funny just to see how the narratives are put out there. I think that's why I wanted to bring it up. It is very disappointing that the US dollar is doing so poorly against the Mexican peso. You might think that maybe, perhaps, something's not right in our economy if Mexico is doing so much better than the US. But you don't need to think about that, because if you did, the corporate media would be making stories about that. And they're not. They're only making stories about how the ruble's doing. So I guess that's all we have. Yeah. Anyway, we need some good news. Let's end on some good news. And this is definitely good news. You know, folks, I read about these Australian surfers who got lost in a storm off the coast of Indonesia. They were bobbing up and down on their surfboards for over 38 hours. That's what I call extreme. 4 Australian surfers who went missing in a storm while on a remote Indonesian island were rescued after 38 hours at sea. They were found by a surf charter boat along with another Australian who sought help. Sadly, one Indonesian crew member is still missing. The surfer's boat got caught in bad weather while traveling to Penang Island from the Nias. The local surf charter boats played a crucial role in the rescue. The Australians were celebrating a birthday. Australian government thanked the rescuers and offered support. Indonesia is a popular destination for Australians, known for its surf spots. So this is great. I was following this story just to, you know, you heard about these surfers that went out for a birthday. They were surfing, and then the 4 surfers disappeared. Yikes. And when they're gone over a day, everyone feared the worst, and it turned out they survived. So they've got a great story to tell going forward. And, you know, good for the surfers, not for, I guess, the one crew member who's still lost at sea. But overall, pretty good news. You can survive. Don't give up hope. And I think that that's a nice little parable, right? About not giving up. I like it. I think that's some good news. Anyway, that's all I have for you today. Stick around for the after show. I'm going to go through all your comments. Thanks for hitting the like button, etc., etc. I'll be back tomorrow. It's Wednesday tomorrow. I'll be looking for a big idea to share with you. Anyway, have a beautiful day. Peace. What's up, Duggo? See, I can get through the chat over on Rumble very quickly. So that's too bad. Come on, Rumble. I'd love for some more people to watch live. For more people to watch live, not just a few. Let's see how many. Oh well, what are you going to do? Anyway, thanks everybody checking in on YouTube. Lucid Moments had his dog pass away. I'm sorry, Lucid. That's tough. Google is biased to their content they give its users. Well, that's something we all know. I guess Chris Beat Cancer will be removed. Yeah, tough. I'd like to read The War on Ivermectin by Dr. Pierre Corey. It also is about all use of off-label drugs, not just horse paste. Yeah, you can read it, just don't talk about it on YouTube. Cool kids like the stream. Thank you, Apothecary John. All the cool kids are liking the stream. So that's cool. Thanks for doing that. Peeking through the curtain, viewers. Okay, how come saving always equals spending? Well, that's pretty much how it works. Natasha says, I'd go on a date with you, Tom. Surely plenty of other beautiful, intelligent women would too. Ah, thank you, Natasha. I appreciate that. Oh, no, I'm sure they exist. I'm sure they exist. Just not running into them. And I'm in a special area that seems to have a lot of people have lost their mind. You'll be in the middle of nowhere and they say, oops, you're just going too far, and leave you stranded. Kind of seems that way. Oh, Lucid Moments would go on a date too, and you're not even gay. Well, that's cool. I appreciate that. Jody says, I'm still working on Thomas Sowell's Basic Economics. The real Anthony Fauci is in waiting. I like to think it helps my brain functioning neurons from disappearing. Reading's good. You know, just be aware of everything that you're putting into your head, right? If we, you know, one of the reasons I try to have a good news story every day is I do think that if we concentrate on all the negativity, I don't think it's really good for us. So just be aware of what you're putting in, because what you put in is kind of what you concentrate on. Nice. Apothecary John says, I'd be on Rumble today too, but I'm on mobile. Well, you know, they got a mobile app as well. So, Jody says, I used to windsurf on flat water in the Keys. Even taught it at one point. No success in waves, though, here in South Carolina. I like, I've done windsurfing on flat water, too. And never on any on any waves or any waves higher than like 2 feet. That's kind of where I'm at. Natasha says, I'm not a surfer type. I prefer mountains and hiking rather than beach and endless water. Well, teach our own. I think you can have both, right? You can like both. It's allowed. Jody says, had a wonderful vacay in Tennessee cabin, beautiful forest, mountains, while whitewater rafting. That does sound like a nice vacation. It is really heating up. You know, here it's over 100 degrees here in Portland again today. So I'm going to kick back in the air conditioning. That's my plan. La La Land 711 says, nice shirt. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate it greatly. Thank you very much. Anyway, y'all have a beautiful day. I'll be back tomorrow. Big idea. I'm going to try to come up with an idea that may change the way you look at things. So that's quite a feat. See if I can do it. Perhaps. Anyway, that's all I have for y'all today. I hope y'all have a beautiful one, and I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.